Okay, so again, welcome all of you on this session of how actually you can prepare by self-study for this UPSC CSE. Before we begin, I'm Shashank Gupta. I'm Program Head of Step Up Mentorship Program at Vajiram and Ravi. So in this session, we will be guiding you to prepare for self-study by your own, right? We'll discuss various dimensions, what is self-study, what it takes to effectively manage your self-study plan and preparation. Okay, so before we begin, can you all let me know whether you are doing self-study or not, or specifically if you are preparing for 26 or 27. So this is a session simplifying self-study for UPSC CSE. It is for 26, 27 and any aspirant who is trying to prepare for UPSC CSE by their own, right? So first of all, let's discuss, as I discussed with you, this is a session for every one of you who is preparing for 26, 27 or beyond, or anyone who wants to learn how to inculcate this art and science of clearing UPSC exam, right? So this is a session for more or less everyone who is present here. Yes, it is very much relevant, Sandeep, for coaching students as well, because as I'll tell you, self-study is not going solo. It's not just you are keeping yourself in your room and not interacting with everyone, right? It can be if you are classroom students, it can be if you are just purchased test series or something or mentorship or something, right? So it is relevant for every one of you, and let me assure you, if you stick till the end, this will be the only masterclass on self-study that you will actually ever need. So just go through this whole video, whole discussion with me, and you will unlock many secrets for self-study for your preparation, right? Now, first thing first, I want to ask you something. Do you identify this man? Do you identify who is this? And again, there are a lot of hints in this picture itself. So please type in the comment box if you can identify this person. All right, very good, very good. I'm so proud of all of you who remember this person. He is a prodigy. He is a genius who was well ahead of his time. Srinivas Ramanujan sir, right? Yes, very nice, Mayank. Very, very good, Mansi. Again, just to give you a heads up, you can be asked something about him in prelims as well as mains. They have asked about such personalities, right? So why I have asked you this? So he was a prodigy who was born in Tamil Nadu in a secluded village, right? So Ramanujan sir basically was a prodigy from the very beginning, but it was not without someone who actually helped him. He used to, by the age of 16, he used to derive some theorems which even the best of professors in the world were not able to derive, right? So even 100 years later, we are understanding how relevant his work was. So it would not have been possible if there was no other person like Mr. Hardy from England, right? So Mr. Hardy actually recognized one of his letters, and I'll show you his letter as well. So he was G.H. Hardy from basically Cambridge, who actually saw this letter from Ramanujan sir, right? So he used to send whatever he was practicing to all the professors around the world. But it was only Mr. Hardy who actually recognized the talent, the prodigy that he was, right? So without him, we would not have got such a genius of mathematics, right? So what I mean by this story is, my dear students, it is not just the brilliance. I know he was brilliant. We all know he was brilliant. But without the proper direction of this man called Mr. Hardy, he would not have been this unstoppable genius that we remember, right? Similar thing applies to all of you. I know many of you are very much talented and you have all the potential in the world to go all alone in this journey. However, if you get the right direction, if you get a right person, right guidance, then you will be unstoppable. So self-studying isn't about going solo. It is about believing in yourself, taking everything under your control, that you are in charge of your destiny. But you should have right guidance. This is what self-study actually means. Otherwise, you are just a rat lost in the maze, right? You will never reach your destination if you do not have the proper direction. Again, luck is always there, but it is not generalized, right? So you need self-study, and self-study means not just going solo. You need proper guidance, you need proper person, people and system around you so that you can be unstoppable, right? So in this session, students, we'll be discussing these many aspects. First thing is that we'll be discussing is what is self-study. This we have already covered. It's not about going solo, right? It is about trusting within you, right? That you have this capability to deliver. At the same time, you need support of people. We human beings need support. We need guidance. It's like basically Arjuna, right? Needed Krishna to guide him throughout the Mahabharata, right? Similarly, self-study is about more than yourself. But it is about trusting your instincts. Yes, you can do it, right? This is the attitude that you need for self-study. Now, coming to agenda of this session. So first of all, I'll discuss with you what you need to understand. For you to win anything, you must understand the enemies, yourself as well as the other part, right? So you must know yourself as well as the enemy, the challenge that you are facing. So how many of you think that you actually understand what UPSC is or what it demands? Please write in the comment a very simple description what it needs to clear this exam. Please be a bit more interactive. Yes, Mayank, Rishit, everyone? Okay, Ishika is saying yes, discipline is very much required. Yes, Suransh is again very much right. Understanding of current affairs, current issues, awareness, consistency, yes, it is there. But can anyone give me the whole picture? No, what UPSC demands? What is the need of UPSC from you guys? Yes, conscious mind is situation analysis. Good point, very good point. Personality, what kind of personality you are talking about, Mansi? Yes, it is again correct, Mayank. Hard work is needed, discipline is needed. Yes, officers like qualities. What are these, Sudhanshu? Can you please elaborate? Social analysis, right? At least basic knowledge of all spheres, right? This is again very good point. You need to understand many aspects of social life to know your own countries, all the issues. Yes, many of you are correct, right? So we'll be discussing what you must know before you actually begin your journey. So how many of you are actually just starting in the very initial phase of your preparation? How many of you are just starting? Say within 6 months or 7 months, you have studied something about UPSC, but not more than that. Okay, Mahi? Okay, perfect. Oh, all right, Soyansh, it's very good to have you here. You had just started at the right time. Ishika is also starting. Rishit is also starting. Very nice. Bhuvnesh, Anjali, everyone. So I think most of you are just starting right now. So it's going to be a very good session for you. Then we'll be discussing, my dear students, you have to understand life is not fair. There will be some harsh realities of UPSC that you must understand so that you can brace yourself up, right? तो आपको पहले समझना होगा कि yes, path will not be easy. There will be some issues that you must understand beforehand. Then I'll be discussing 7 deadly sins, as I call them, that you must avoid at every cost. कि अगर इसको करा तो again your destiny will shift. जो चीज शायद आप 1 साल में करने वाले होगे वो 2 साल, 3 साल, 5 साल. तो again many people come to this preparation with this belief that I will clear this exam in 1 year. Because of these deadly sins, वो कब 1 साल 5 वर्षीय योजना में बदल जाता है. It converts to 5-year plan, right? No one understands this point, right? So you must understand what you must avoid, and then I'll suggest you a path that is needed, the principles that are needed for you to crack this exam. Then I'll highlight how to actually begin, how to take this first step, how to begin humbly, right? And then we'll be discussing about approaches towards particular subjects, approaches towards prelims, mains, and all the integrated aspect of this preparation, right? So be with me and you will learn a lot in this session, right? So first thing is, if you want to win over anything, you have to understand. Understanding is very much needed, right? So what do you understand by this quote? Is this quote visible to all of you? If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. And if you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. This is very classic quote, and it is very much relevant for all of you. So it emphasizes 2 aspects. First thing is, you have to understand your enemy, not enemy in the sense, obviously UPSC is a friend, but at the same time the challenge you are facing. So first you have to understand the challenge, that is UPSC. Also, at the very same time, you have to begin with yourself. Who are you? Why are you here? This is the most important question that all of you must ask, right? So, first thing first, let's understand what is UPSC about. So, I know many of you must know this, but just to give you an idea who are just starting, UPSC is an examination who is recruiting for all Indian officers, right? It is an all India service, right? Please write about article related to UPSC if you know about it in your comment box. Let's test your polity, right? So there are three aspects of UPSC: prelims, mains, and interview. So every stage actually filters out students based on their aptitude, the qualities they want from you. If you are not having those qualities, you will not be going forward. So in prelims, first of all, as many of you know, around 10 lakh students fill this form, and not more than 10 to 15,000 students actually appear in mains. What is the reason for the same? Reason is, your job is going to be like that. You have to handle pressure all the time, right? And in that pressure, you have to take decisions which is going to affect millions of people. And for this very reason, they want you to handle this pressure. So many of you perform very good in mocks. Many of you are, again, have reached various challenges of prelims. At the same time, when it comes to actual exam hall, you people succumb. The reason is you are not able to handle pressure. How many of you feel the same? That, sir, I have studied a lot, but when I come to apply it in an exam hall, be it not just UPSC, in previous exams as well, you do not perform well. Please comment. How many of you perform well in pressure, and how many of you don't? Please comment, I perform well or I do not. Please, so that I understand how is Rohit performing. Okay, Soyansh, thank you for being honest. You don't. But again, it's not something that you cannot learn. What about others? Sandhi. Okay, Sai Varun, very good to hear that you perform well. Mohan, again, very good. Swati is saying you handle pressure decently well. Yes, but yes, prelims will be the stage where you will be tested for this, because this is a requirement of the job, right? That's why they are filtering out students, their aspirants in this stage. In mains, they will be testing about how flexible you are, right? You may read everything under the sun, but still there can be some bounces in mains. So you have to think on the spot. So if you have referred this year's paper, and there was question on twisters or demographic winter. So even many students who has studied for many years were not able to actually attempt those questions, right? Also, it demands brevity, because in official communication, you need that quality. So they want you to write everything that you have learned over 2 years in just 150 words in 10 markers, right? So these are some of the qualities that they must expect from you. How you will make yourself stand out from others. You are in media, you have to deliver some news. How do you react to that, right? Are they going to select the right candidate? And most importantly, it's a grueling journey. This means you have 5 days, day in, day out. First your essay, then your GS1, GS2, next day, then GS3, GS4. Again, it's a very exhaustive experience. So even if you are tired, are you able to deliver? So again, stress testing is being done, right? So this is a requirement of mains. And similarly, in the interview, they want people who are confident enough. They want people who can think on the spot. They want people who are very good in expressing and analytical abilities, because the future of India decides on you people who will be going to be officers. So I hope you understand what are the qualities that you need for UPSC, right? So just to summarize this thing, if I show you this, right? First thing is, at the top, I have mental resilience, because when you are in the field, you may be away from your family, but still you have to go on. There will be so many kinds of pressures on you, right? From citizens, from political parties, everyone, right? So you have to have very good emotional intelligence, emotional quotient. So mental resilience is at the top of it. Then obviously you need to understand everything, because in your district there will be environmental issues, there will be economical issues, social issues. So obviously you have to have that understanding of everything, as many of you rightly pointed out in the comments. But more importantly, they need the application, because in practical world there will be something which is very new to it. So only what we have learned, then you will be able to apply, right? So these are the three things that they need from you. I hope you understand this point. Yes, Rohit, it is very natural and common for performance to decrease due to pressure. Why do you think Sachin Tendulkar used to get out a lot in 90s? Why do you think? Even the god of cricket was not able to handle pressure. And this is why many Kohli fans say, I'm not one of them, but many Kohli fans say he is able to handle pressure better than Sachin Tendulkar. How many of you actually agree with this? Because Kohli actually is called chase master, while many times Sachin used to succumb to this, right? So again, many of the greats is not able to handle this pressure, but it's a skill. You see any IAS, they are handling it day in, day out. So for you, this preparation is beginning right now. The qualities that is needed in the field, you have to develop it right now, and it's a skill. The more you work on it, the more you will be better, right? So this is what I wanted to convey. These are the qualities that you need. Now, let's come to some harsh realities of UPSC. How many of you have scored well in your boards exam? Many 90 percentiles, maybe, right? Many of you must be coming from very good academic backgrounds, right? But at the same time, you must understand the system is like that. Out of these 10 lakh students, only 1,000 are getting selected. And even out of these 1,000 students, my dear students, a shocking thing is, half of the people who are already selected, say IRS, IRTS, even IPS, if that's not the first preference and attempts are left, they will again go to write the exam. So only figure is 100 and 200 students are getting out of this cycle every year. So reality is, numbers are against you, right? I'm not saying be discouraged. There are ways to actually deal with it, but first you have to understand that it is not going to be easy. If someone is saying it is a cakewalk, it is not. It will require your discipline. It will require the qualities that you were mentioning in the comment box: perseverance, hard work, smart work, everything, right? So it's not going to be easy, right? Also, you have to understand life is not fair. So many will say UPSC is not fair. Suppose you have sociology optionals, one has mathematics optional. So you will see sometimes maths optional gets 330 marks, 340 marks. There was a time they used to score around 370. And you will say, okay, I'm from geography background, I'm having this optional, so I'm not scoring well. How many of you have this phobia that my optional will not score well? Please be honest. Or you get this feeling that maybe my optional isn't good, it will not be scoreable. There are many noises in the market that will say that. First thing is, it doesn't happen like that. They are scaling, but again, there will be some differences. Someone coming from, say, engineering background, CSAT may be easier for them, while someone from arts background, it will be very difficult, especially if you see papers like 2023. PNC questions, even the ITNs were not able to solve. So many of people were not selected in mains because of CSAT. So again, it's not fair. Many of the people who are coming into services are coming from those civil servants family, right? So the discussion that is happening on table maybe give them some edge. So this is something called social capital, and there is nothing wrong about it, right? So social capital is there. It is being transferred. So I don't expect you to understand that life is fair, and don't expect this from this journey as well. There will be chances where you will say, okay, this is not fair to me, but deal with it. Maybe sulk for 1 or 2 days, but move on, right? Rachna, you have high fear of CSAT, right? As I said, many of you must be sharing this feeling. Also, my dear student, you have to understand UPSC is too brutal. Doesn't matter if you have missed the cutoff by 1 mark in prelims, mains or interview, you have to repeat the whole cycle, which is again very exhausting, very draining process. Imagine you are almost at the top, just 1 mark behind the ranker, and now because of this 1 mark, which you will easily understand in mains is not a big deal, right? Even a general conclusion can separate that. So it's brutal. One error in any attempt may cost you that attempt. So sometimes people neglect CSAT. Sometimes people neglect essay, that I am very good at answer writing, I will not practice essay. Or it can be anything, right? So always give your best, respect the process, respect UPSC, because they are very brutal, right? Also understand this point that, and again this is very much necessary, so that your 1 year program does not turn out to be 5-year program. Always understand this. Never ever seek perfectionism in UPSC. Many of you will have this feeling, I will write my test, I'll do answer writing when I'm prepared, when I have this confidence. How many of you feel that, okay, let me go through all the books first of all, let me revise maybe 4 or 5 times and then I'll practice. Maybe prelims questions or mains questions. Please be honest. Yes, thank you, Mayank. Yes, Daksh, you also feel the same, right? So yes, Bhuvnesh is feeling that for mains. Sometimes people will feel that for interview, right? There is something called inertia, and then inertia will never let you get out of your comfort zone. So this is a harsh reality that it will happen, that you will never be 100% fully prepared. But understand this point, no one will ever be, and this is a competitive exam. You just need to be better than all the others, right? You just need rank within 100 maybe, or if you're targeting under 10, that's up to you, right? So you need 1 seat. So always remember that it is not a perfectionist exam. You are competing with the people who are not perfect. So it's an advantage for every one of you. Payal, we'll come to these questions at the end of the session as well, right? So be patient till then. Also understand this point, there are many myths. Specifically when you are starting, all the relatives will tell you, okay, IAS is like you have to be born genius, right? Or if you are from a very good college, say IIT, IMM, or even global universities, then only you will crack this exam, right? There is no chance for Hindi medium students and so on and so forth. So there are so many myths around it that you have to have a very good IQ. It's not needed. Let me bust that myth right now. This exam is not dependent on IQ altogether. Obviously, you need some analytical skills, but at the same time, when always remember that here your hard work and discipline is much greater than your IQ. It will reward you better in the long run, right? So don't underestimate that, yes, I'm not from a good college or I'm not a top ranker or something. It is not needed. What you need is, you have to be average, but that average has to evolve, improve yourself, and that has to be done every day. That is needed. But sometimes it will not happen. This is a reality. This is a harsh truth. You are human, so maybe sometimes you will feel low and high. This curve will be there. So again, there will be days when you feel low. Yes, Mayank, it is very much possible to crack this exam in 1 year, given that you have right guidance with you, right? You do your best, you make some sacrifices, and that is again a harsh reality. When your friends, suppose if you are coming from college, after college, many of them will be doing very good jobs, and then you will be secluded in a room. So it will make some sacrifices from your end. It will take those sacrifices, right? This is a harsh reality. You cannot be, I'm not saying don't have this work-life balance kind of thing. You need to talk to your parents regularly, support system is needed, but at the same time, it's not a very rosy picture all the time. You need to put in those extra hours. Maybe you will not watch these cricket matches or IPL or something, right? So these are some of the harsh realities of the process that you must know. Then coming to this, you understand about enemy part. Now coming to yourself. First thing is, you have to understand why you are here. Why is very important, because there will be times in this journey where you feel like giving up. If you are here because someone from your family suggested that you go, right? I'm not saying this should not be there. This is there. We are part of social system. But now ignite that fire within you. I'm here because I wanted to be here. I want to be an officer. That's why I'm here. And for the good intentions maybe, right? That I want to serve the nation and everything. But again, most importantly, you have to be there for yourself, because times will be tough in this grueling journey. Gestation period of UPSC is around 18 to 24 months. So if you are targeting 26, the results will come in 27. Understand this point, right? So you have to be very honest that you are here for yourself. Then you have to have a very honest opinion about what strengths you possess, what weaknesses you possess. So someone coming from arts background may be good in answer writing, but they may not be good at CSET, as someone pointed out, right? So you have to identify, very importantly, your SWOT analysis has to be done for yourself. So what I am as a person, where do I struggle, what are my strengths? And finally, then you come to how part, how to actually achieve whatever I want to achieve, right? This is the last priority, how part. First, begin with these two things. Then only you will actually succeed. I hope everyone in understanding what I mean by now. So please type, yes, sir, I am with you if you understand what I am trying to convey. Please. Thank you, Suransh. So we have covered. First, you have to understand the challenge before you, and then you have to understand yourself. Thank you, Mayank. Thank you for following. If anyone has any doubt up till this point, you can just ask me right now. Not ahead, but until this point. Shweta, Harsh, Rahul, anyone? All right. Okay. Now let's begin with the mistakes you have to avoid at every cost, right? So these are the 7 deadly sins that you must understand. Keep it in front of you wherever you are studying, so that your actions should always not align with these things, right? If you are doing one of them, you are on the wrong track. Okay. So first thing is, if you do not have inner purpose or desire, it will be difficult for you. Don't commit this sin. Bring that energy for yourself, right? This is what I have to do. Then you have to begin with the understanding of the exam, as I discussed earlier. You have to begin with the understanding of the exam. If you are not doing that, it may take a lot of time. It will become trial and error method for you, right? So first understand what you want to do. Third sin is, many people start this journey, just jump in, right? They have this attitude of going with the flow. So suppose today I feel like studying polity. So I'll just study polity. I'll study some Lakshmikant or something. Then next day or next week, I have this urge of studying, say, ethics. You start with that. So going with the flow approach is a deadly sin for you, because it may actually help you in your intellectual curiosity or something, but it will not give you results in time, right? So it is again a very deadly sin. So basically, you do not have a structured plan for yourself, and this is what I call UPSC brain, right? You have to understand what is needed. You have to have a plan for it. Like, this is what I need to do, and this is how I'm going to do it, right? This is a sin if you don't have. Then the biggest sin right now in the market is this overload of information, everything. So one day your friend came to you, okay, are you reading this book for history? This was a question, Deshar Katha, which was not in, say, Spectrum. So they suggest you start reading Ishita Banerjee or maybe Bandyopadhyay. They are very good books in their own right, but at the very same time, you have to understand you have limited time, right? So this understanding has to be there. There is information overload, and I have to not repeat these mistakes, right? So I'll tell you what to do for these things, but right now you have to understand you have to be cautious whenever there is overload of information, content, or advice in general, right? So we are living in this Netflix generation. Netflix brain is being developed. So we want to scroll all the time, new information. So this is a kind of consumerism which is affecting our psychology. So do not have a Netflix brain while you are preparing for UPSC. Stick to the old traditional methods that I'll discuss, right? So one thing, revise more times. That's a hint. Now, other major sin that many of them, 90% of them commit, is they passively read all the information, all the books. So many of you must have read Lakshmikant. So let me know if you have actually practiced some tests on that, specifically if you are just starting, How many of you have actually practiced some mains questions or prelims questions from this part of the syllabus, if you have done this, right? Or any book if you have started? Please comment in the comment box. I want to see whether you are committing this in or not, that you are not applying what you are learning. So what about you, Harsh? So Payal is saying you have covered Lakshmikant. So have you practiced some, that's good to hear. Okay, Harsh, that's good. Right. So I know many of the aspirants, maybe you are one of the good lots, but at the very same time, I know many of the aspirants, even after 2-3 attempts, don't know that they have to practice tests while they are writing mains. Many of the aspirants after 2-3 attempts come to me and say, sir, we are not able to complete the paper in mains because we have not practiced enough. Yes, Mayank has always been waiting for the perfect amount of preparation that I had already told you. That will never happen, right? So this is a deadly sin. Now, many of you focus only on either hard work or just some tricks, some smart work. But UPSC is not about that. It has to be a mix of both. You have to work hard in the sense, on an average, you have to have some hours for study over a period of 1 year or 2 years, 8, 9 maybe. But you have to also apply some smart work. So it will not happen, maybe you will start just 1 month before prelims and learn all the tricks in the book, and then you will clear UPSC exam, right? Okay, Bhuvnesh. Okay. I'll discuss on that. Yes. And finally, most importantly, many of you don't have the right kind of system, right people around you. So many friends will demotivate you, right? Many of the seniors will say, nahi, tumse nahi ho payega, right? So many of them will not give you the genuine advice that you need. I'm not saying they are wrong in themselves. They have their own journey. But at the same time, every aspirant, every student is different. So their challenges, the ways are different, right? That's why you need something personal, right? So these are some of the deadly sins that you often commit, or if you have not committed yet, maybe you will. So take a screenshot of this deadly sins and paste it on your wall or wherever you study. Please type, I will do it, sir. Mayank, I'll give you a solution for that. Understanding of the exam, Mayank, what I mean is, first understand the nature of the exam, the qualities that I discussed. What are the phases of the exam? Sometimes people will only prepare for prelims and will say, okay, let me handle mains after I have cleared prelims. So this is basically suicidal, because you are wasting one attempt and you are also affecting your next attempt. This is what I mean by understanding the nature of the exam, right? You have to understand the phases, nature, what is needed at what point of time. Okay? I'll share this, Anmol, I'll share this in this discussion only, right? So I hope you have taken the screenshot. Now, how to actually do what is needed? First thing is, as I always say, start for the right reasons. Start for the right reasons. That it is for you, it is for the good of the country, right? Otherwise, again, we are not making good officers. We need better officers. So first, start for the right reasons. And secondly, if possible, start early. Early in the sense, as many of you are in college, right? So take some time out when you are actually in college itself. Because the preparation of UPSC will need at least 15 to 18 months. If someone is saying only in 2 months, you can crack this exam, either you are genius or you are basically being duped, right? I'll come to that, Harsh, later. So basically, start early if possible, because the syllabus of UPSC is somewhat large, right? I'm not saying it's impossible, but it will take time, right? So first thing is, start early. Then you understand the part that I suggested you, the nature of the exam, the qualities that are needed, what you need to do in what phase. So for prelims, what you need to do, for mains, what you need to do, for interview, what you need to do, right? This is needed from your end. Then you build some friends. Whenever you start a journey, you need someone to be alongside you, right? And in this journey, again a very secluded journey. Your best friends are your syllabus and previous year questions, right? So first thing is you have to understand, you have to keep a copy of syllabus, specifically syllabus, in front of you every time. How many of you have learned syllabus by heart? How many of you can tell me that this is the point in what we need to study for internal security or ethics? Do you, all of you, know the syllabus by heart? Please be honest. Okay, Archit, thank you. Except ethics, you know more or less everything. Okay, Harsh. Okay, what about you, Rohit? Honestly, no, sir. Shweta is also saying not exactly. Uddhav is also saying. Harsh, Rakesh, Sandeep, what about you guys? So understand this point. This is a blunder if you are even thinking about UPSC and you do not know the syllabus. We'll come to previous year questions later, but at least you should know the syllabus. Thank you, Harsh. At least you know for the optional part. But optional is again just 500 marks, while GS is 1000 marks. So you do the maths. Again, it's not that it's not important, but GS is again very important for you. So first thing is, right now make a point that you will have a copy, either printed or whatever form, you will have syllabus copy in front of you every time. Even if I find you on road in ORN, I want you to have your syllabus. You understand my point? Syllabus is very important. Without syllabus, you are like a blind person, right? You do not know where you are going. You do not have your stick with you, right? So make sure you have this syllabus with you. Also, if again in this day and age, you have all the compilations of previous year questions, but if you do not have, just buy any book for previous year questions, right? Now, most important thing now begins when you start applying, when you say start reading Polity Lakshmikant, when you start reading say internal security or whatever you want to read. If you start it just for the sake of reading, never do that. Never just read passively. Always think like this, say whatever I am reading today will help me in my job tomorrow, right? So you have to focus on the understanding part, because without understanding you will not just qualify UPSC but may not actually be a good officer, right? So make sure you understand everything. Anshu, yes, it will be uploaded on YouTube, but I'll suggest you to watch this video so that you can ask your questions as well, right? So this is very much needed, understanding of everything that you are reading, right? So say I'll just take an example of basic structure doctrine. Basic structure doctrine. So if any one of you has read Lakshmikant, can you tell me which article it has been explicitly mentioned? Any of you? Please write in the comment box if you know about this. What about others? You have not read Lakshmikant, or okay, so I think many of you are right in the sense that it is not explicitly mentioned. It is implicit in Article 13 and everything, but at the same time it is not explicitly mentioned. It is a judicial innovation, right? So you understand what it means, where it is, right? So if I ask you to make notes, maybe introduction in 3-4 lines about what is doctrine about, article relates to it, Supreme Court judgment, right? And then maybe the evolution of the doctrine, right? Sankri Prasad, Golaknath, Keshananda Bharti, Minerva Mills case. Then significance of the doctrine, what are the issues with the doctrine, what is the way ahead and the challenges, and then conclusion, right? This is the thematic preparation of this particular thing. So you have covered from the prelims aspect as well as the mains aspect. So you understand this term in and out. This is what I mean by understanding. Don't just rote learning. Don't focus on that, because it will help you maybe one time, but in the long run it will harm you, right? So everything has to be understood. Then what you have to understand is You are going to be an officer who has to manage various things. Similarly, in this preparation also, you have to have this balancing act. Balancing act when you are studying static part of the syllabus with respect to current affairs. So many of you start saying, sir, how important in current affairs and everything. So you have to have a balance that is optimum for UPSC. So just to give a figure, maybe at this point of time, you just need to refer newspaper for 1 hour and maybe maximum half an hour every day for your monthly compilations, just to give a figure. But rest of the stuff has to be from static part, the syllabus that has been given, right? So you have to achieve this balance. Then you have to achieve this balance of optional studies as well as GS studies, right? Similarly, you have to have balance and integration of prelims and mains, right? So this art will be developed gradually, and for that again you need right direction. So always remember that you have to have this ultimate balancing act. Then my dear students, always remember, don't have these grand ideas. Always focus on middle range plans. What I mean by middle range plans? Don't just prepare for one day, but also don't just plan for next 6 months or 1 year. Have some micro plans. Plan for a week, right? From Monday to Sunday. This is what I'll do. Specific actionable targets. Think of it like this. So this is a ladder of life, as I call it. Are you able to see this ladder of life? So you are here somewhere. This is your past, this is your future. You have committed some mistakes in the past, not maybe personally, professionally. Similarly, you may commit some mistakes in future as well, but also you will be thinking about being an IAS officer. But don't dwell on neither past nor the future much, right? Because just learn from the mistakes from the past and move on. Don't carry the baggage. How it helps is, suppose you are studying for polity. You don't need to think about, okay, I don't know geography or art and culture at that moment. What you need to focus on, again, this is a very important picture. Try to stick it in front of your study table. This is you, and this is all you have in control right now. Taking the best step as the next step, right? So this is your universe. This is 7-day, 10-day plan for now, right? Just execute it. You plan for this and then execute it. Otherwise, you will keep erasing your plans, right? So daily targets are not very efficient. First you have middle range plans, then you execute it day by day. Similarly, don't have yearly plans. Okay, this year I'll complete GS1 or GS2. Not like that. Be very specific. Give yourself some time frame and then commit to it. Okay, we'll come to that as well. And most importantly, my dear students, always remember that you are bound to commit some mistakes. It is very natural. Whenever you learn something, the first time you rode bike, maybe once a while you were not able to handle the balance, right? So you started learning gradually. And this is how you learn anything. So don't be afraid to commit mistakes. I'll say commit all the mistakes that you can commit. So that the more you bleed hair right now, bleed hair, so that you do not bleed in mains exam or UPSC exam altogether. To make all the mistakes you want. So people who are studying for 2026, suppose you have 70 weeks with you. 70 weeks. Don't think of it as 70 weeks. Think of it as 70 attempts. You have 70 attempts to learn from. Plan for each week, execute the plan, learn from the learnings and then move on. Apply those learnings. Then again, so this is how you will improve. Gradually, but definitely. So this is a spiral. This is how you will improve. This is how learning progresses. Right? So I hope you will understand these points. This is the path for you. But most importantly, now we'll come to how to actually start. So specifically, I hope everything is clear for now. Suransh, I'll give that solution at the very end. Right? So for now, students, if you are with me, just write, I am with you, sir, in the comment box. Thank you, Atika. Thank you so much for your concentration. These days, many people are not able to focus more than 8 minutes, right? They are just viewing shorts. So sometimes knowledge actually takes some time. and that's why I want this session to be elaborate. I'll come to this, Ruchika. Just come to this. Just wait for a moment. So first thing is, as I told you, you have to start. So the journey of 1,000 miles begins from a single step, right? It may be a long road, but you have to start from somewhere. So I imagine you as a very beginner just starting this UPSC preparation. First thing is understand the syllabus, as I told you, and then is you start with some newspaper. What kind of newspaper doesn't matter. Whatever is comfortable for you right now. Even Times of India will do, right? For next 7 days, start any newspaper, because newspaper will actually help you understand the broader aspects of things. If you continuously read newspaper, it is your best friend in UPSC. Many people say this, I have not read newspaper, still qualify. Again, good for them. But I want you to inculcate this habit, because as an officer, if you see any person in the world who is doing good, they do make themselves aware of their surroundings. If you are an entrepreneur, you want to know how economy is behaving right now so that I can take right decisions. If you are a political analyst, you have to know what others are doing. Similarly, it's very important for you to actually internalize this habit. And I know it is very difficult. Make it a habit that you will not sleep before you finish your newspaper reading. I'm not saying whole newspaper end to end. I'm saying just at least start with 2 articles, right? This is what I want, because newspaper actually first gives you the information from ages, right? If something is happening today in economy, they may link it to LPG era. So you must understand what has happened in 35 years back, 25 years back, right? So it is giving information by decades, right? So first thing is start with the newspaper. Then you take the next step after a week or something when you are comfortable. Okay, many of you will struggle with the newspaper. I know this, but it is a part of process. Take this step. Then you go on to read some NCERTs. Again, this is very subjective, but I'll say 3 things here. First of all, start with NCERTs like say history. If someone is interested in history, he can start with history. So start with 11th class history. If you are able to understand this, then no worries. If you are not, then you backtrack. Then you go to 6th to 10th NCERTs. But it is not needed for all the subjects. 6th to 10th NCERTs, many of the people will say start from 6 to 10. But I believe those 3-4 months will be, if not waste, you can utilize it better. So if you are able to understand a particular standard book, say Lakshmikant, you need not go through all the books of polity by 6th class or 7th class, right? Yes, you can, Mayank, no issues in that. Just it should make sense to you. Second thing is, when you start, suppose you start with geography, 11th NCERT, and you are not able to understand it, then you backtrack to 6th NCERT, 6th to 10th, try to find the chapter in that and then read from there. If you are comfortable in this, this is all you need. Always understand this, 11th, 12th NCERTs are more or less enough for these subjects, right? And they are not all the NCERTs that you need. There are very few NCERTs that you will need to cover. Okay? So start with NCERTs or standard books if you are comfortable position with respect to NCERTs, right? What I mean by these books, Lakshmikant, if you are attending coaching, your coaching material, Spectrum, things like that, right? So you start with this. You give yourself some daily targets, some weekly targets. Say first part of Lakshmikant I'll do by end of this week, right? You start with this. Start slowly, but start, right? This is what is needed. Don't think, okay, someone will come and tell me, then only I'll start. Fourth thing I want you to understand is, if you are targeting 2026, you need to understand, yes, optional is very important. And any optional will take at least 4 to 6 months. What I'm saying is, when you are balancing it with GS, right? 4 to 6 months in the sense, 3 months to actually know all that is there in the syllabus, and then 1 or 2 revisions The keywords that is there for specific optional, again, that will take some time, right? So don't be too late regarding your selection of options. I'll try to come up with a separate video for this aspects as well, how to select option and everything. But for now, if you are, again, if you are from, say, sociology background, who has studied 6 years for sociology, don't think twice, okay? It's a very good option, lot of resources. So just to highlight, what you need is good material, teachers, guidance, right? At top of it, you need interest in the subject, right? If you have background, it will help you. But again, just look at the syllabus as well. And then how much it is overlapping with GS. These things will be there. But again, it has to be dealt in detail. So we'll come up with a separate video for the same. But select your optional. Don't be too late. Don't think, yeah, I'll start my optional, maybe if you want to take coaching or something in November or December. Then your classes will run till April, and it will ruin more or less every chance that you have for prelims, right? So don't delay too much. So make some beginning. After a month or something, start reading your optional. I'm not saying coaching or no coaching, you start it, right? This is very much needed. Then the step 5 is actually go into phase-wise preparation. And this is very important, because to achieve any task that is big, you need to objectively segregate that task, right? If this is a marathon, first focus on 100 meters, then 200 meters, then 300. So divide the task that you have in hand. That's how you solve large problems, big problems, right? So this is a roadmap for you to start. Always remember, journey of 1,000 miles begin with your single step. So you have to take this step, and destination is beautiful for you. It is waiting for you, right? How many of you actually want that, yes, I will be an officer by the end of this year, 2026 maybe, right? So if you are targeting 1 year, always remember, give yourself a time limit. What I mean by time limit, why it is needed? Because if you think, yes, 2026 is going to my first and the last attempt, obviously you need direction for that. But first thing is, you need mindset that it is going to be my last attempt. I will not give it more than that. Because you have to understand, if you give yourself time, the time will fill it up, right? If you give 3 years, time will fill it up. So show urgency. Have understanding, but show urgency as well, right? Take a target that is suiting you, 26, 27, whatever you want, but stick to it so that you give your best. You give everything that you can in that particular attempt only, right? So please write in the comment box, sir, I'll give my best in my first and the last attempt only. Please write in the comment box so that I understand you are with me on this. Make yourself a promise that yes, it is going to be my best attempt and only attempt. Please make sure that, right? So this is how you start. Now, what I mean by phase-wise preparation, first thing is, in the phase 1, you need to understand 4 basic subjects. You can start with polity, economy, history, or geography. These are the foundation subjects, because everything other than that will actually help, will need this help, right? If you want to understand environment, you need to understand about geography or economy in some sense, right? So first, start with any of these subjects, and start with any of these subjects and then actually execute it, right? So it has to be, suppose you start with polity. So start with Lakshmikant, right? And when you start with it, first thing is, you have to understand the syllabus, as I already discussed. Then you also have to have some previous year questions with you, right? So you start with a subject, give yourself time. In 7 days, I'll do this. In next 7 days, I'll do this. So maybe in a month at least, if you are just beginning, if you have never read Lakshmikant before, then maybe a month for polity, and then this is how you proceed. So give yourself small targets, these 4 subjects in the first phase. So first phase may last for 3-4 months. So if you are starting by April, May, June, July maybe, right? Then after July, you have to build on that. Whatever you have learned, start applying, right? this is actually an integration phase for you, where the mains aspects like internal security, environment, society will emerge, right? So first thing is revise those foundation subjects, then go on to this aspect, second phase, where you will apply those subjects, and not to forget that you practice previous year questions regularly. Also, answer writing has to be done, right? Very importantly in this phase. Specifically in first phase, what you can do is you can start solving previous year questions and maybe writing some answers, right? Sectional test maybe, just to have an understanding. I'll come to the answer writing part as well, but for now, these are the two phases. So from July to December, you have to make yourself mains ready, so that after mains, after December, if I ask you to write something on any topic, you have this capability. Okay, so these are the phases. Then you come to the prelims exclusive phase, January or February, depending on your confidence, till the prelims next year. Then you have a specific mains preparation phase after prelims. These are the 4 phases in which you have to progress, right? So break down your task. First task for next 3 months, at least to cover all the foundation subjects if you are just starting, right? Now, first thing is, for any subject, how would you approach, right? Say if you have done standard book, you refer standard book for prelims, or you need to have some compilations. Vajiram students will have their own yellow books. Our step-up students will have their books, their workbooks with them, so that everything is in a very concise manner, right? Otherwise, if you're not having anything, you start with anything in the market that is there that seem a quality thing to you, right? So first thing is standard book, and then quality notes or compilation for every topic in the syllabus, right? If I'm talking about mains, you need to have everything from the mains perspective, right? So economy, start with inclusive growth, why it is important, has India achieved it, what is the status right now, how to improve further, food processing industry, and so on and so forth, right? So for every topic, you need to have some notes. I'm not saying it will be the best quality notes, but you need some notes. If you are failing in somewhere, suppose this is not given in this particular compilation or book, you use your Google or specifically ChatGPT, at least to generate ideas. It is very good. You are blessed with the generation that everything can be summed up by ChatGPT in seconds. So take some ideas from there. At least it will give you some content. Then you add on data later, right? But again, always remember, you don't have to be a PhD in that subject. So give yourself time frame. I'll say give 21 days to polity, because you have to remember, in first level you will achieve say 80 marks, in next level, level 2, 90 marks, then level 3, then level 4. That's how you become topper. Toppers are not made overnight, right? Just focus on improvement, incremental growth as I call it, right? So focus on that part. In 7 days, I have done at least 3 topics of polity that is mentioned in the syllabus. Then next 7 days, next 3 topics. That's how you have to proceed. You are understanding this point, right? Now coming to note making, many of you struggle with this. So don't make notes either from prelims perspective or your mains perspective in the first reading. In the first reading, glance through the things, try to understand what is the crux of the thing, and then after one revision or 2, then you start making notes. And notes are for you. It is not to be published. Many people think I have to be so elaborative so that after I become IAS, I'll share the notes with all the community. This is very good gesture, but understand you will be wasting time. Things you already know, and remember, you need not write those things, right? If I ask you 4 AM in the morning, what is this about? And if you can tell, you need not have that in notes, maybe just a heading. But if there is something like a data that you always forget, like an article that you forget, then you write in the notes, right? So first notes will be, obviously, suppose you start with polity, it may be 100 pages, 200 pages, doesn't matter. You start with note making so that you have structure in mind. I always say this to my students, your rank will be as good as your notes are. These notes will not be perfect in first go, but obviously after 4, 5, 6 revisions, you will refine this. You will compress this, and this is how you will make topper level 1-pager notes. And this is very important, because if you are suppose preparing for prelims or mains, you need to revise everything in a very short span of time, and that's why there is utility of these kinds of one pages, right? So this is how you have to begin. Then when you have started, also try to attempt previous year questions, either from prelims perspective or for mains perspective, right? Attempt previous year questions. For mains, refer some toppers copies, right? So this is what I'm saying. For every topic, say as I discussed, basic structure doctrine, you have to focus on theme, right? So basic structure doctrine, what should be the introduction? 3-4 lines of introduction, right? Maybe the case law. Then what is the evolution? Use a schematic, right? This is how it progressed from Shankari Prasad, Golaknath, Keshav Bharati, Minerva Mills, and so on and so forth. Significance, issues mein hi you will try to cover this thing. Is it a judicial innovation or not? Yes, it is. No, it doesn't separate issues with the separation of powers. It does not violate that thing, separation of powers. So theme-wise preparation, significance, issues, and then how to balance it, way ahead, and then finally conclusion. So this is how the notes should be, thematic notes, right? So again, Ruchika, one pages are the final destination. I have been telling you, notes will start from somewhere. It will start from 4 or 5 pages for a topic. Then over a period of time, when you revise multiple times, that about 4, 5, 6 revisions depending on your preparation, it will be concise. It is not the first step. Always remember that. Otherwise, what will happen is you will lack this conceptual clarity, right? So don't let that happen. Then you attempt the tests for prelims, for mains. You attempt the test. This is the strategy for every subject, right? You cannot passively read and say, I am prepared. You have to test yourself. Test will give you discipline, right? Test will show you where you stand. Test will actually give you the proper reflection of yourself. That's why attempting tests are very important. Also, it is very much relevant for your content addition as well, right? So after every test, you seek feedback, either from your friends, your seniors, your mentors, whatever you have. If you are preparing a self-study mode, you have to seek feedback. And always after every test, try to add value. This is again an ongoing process. Adding value, you have some statement, then try to add data, try to add Supreme Court cases to it, try to add some reports to it. This is a phase-wise thing. Add value from newspapers, model answers that you are given with test series, toppers notes, toppers copies, or anything. You have to have some points. So always remember, in mains, you will stand out from others only if you have substantiated your points, right? How many of you will actually assume that economy is growing or not if I don't give you data? Similarly, the answer's authenticity will depend on your substantiation. Okay? So this is it. And then you have final thing for suppose polity, if I say from mains perspective, you can have some specific compilation, say 1-2 pages, Supreme Court cases, 1-2 pages, some data, value addition, 1-2 pages, some global best practices, right? And this is again ongoing. Try to internalize it, revise it regularly. This is how you will cover subject end to end. Always remember, this is a never ending process. It's not like you cannot, you will become perfect. After every iteration, after every test, you will learn something. Continue that learning, right? Right. Not in the first phase, Ruchika, not in the first phase, right? Now, this is what I call Panchamrit for mains. This is just to reflect. You make quality content, you take quality content, start with the basic, build around syllabus and previous year question. This we discussed. Then this is most important. Many people have very good notes, very fancy notes, but they do not revise them. It is not for anyone else, it is for yourself. You have to revise these notes, make it a point. If you are not revising anything 5 to 6 times, you will not use it in mains. The time is an issue, real issue in mains. So everything that only has been internalized, that is in your blood, right? If I ask you 4 AM in the morning, what is it? Then if you are able to tell, then only you will be able to write in mains. So everything that cannot be revised, leave it, right? So multiple revisions are very much necessary. Then comes the use of test series. You apply whatever you have learned. You experiment. Maybe this kinds of introduction is working. Maybe this is the schematic I can use, right? For way forward, maybe the moon diagrams I can use. Something. You experiment and then take the feedback, right? Experiment, take feedback. And in the meantime, keep adding value, as I discussed. Value can be from newspapers, from toppers notes, from model answers, anything, right? So for our students, we specifically provide this. But again, if you are doing self-study, you can have these value addition materials. Now something about prelims, similar on the mains aspect. Whenever you are taking a subject, you have to have a solid foundation. So if I ask from Lakshmikant, accuracy should be more than 95%, right? Many of the people say, students say, sir, I have covered Lakshmikant 10 times. But if I give them a question, they are not able to solve it. So it is of no use, right? There are these evergreen subjects like polity, like economy, that will fetch you good marks. So try to master that. And that will be done if you prepare your strength matrix. This is my strength and this is my weakness. That you will only come to know when you attempt these mock tests. So this is what I call Panchamrit, 5 types of Amrit that you need to clear prelims. Solid foundation in these subjects, right? Second thing is multiple revisions of that so that you do not confuse yourself. Many students from prelims say, sir, 50-50 aata tha. 2 options I have eliminated, but I could not reach the answer. How many of you have felt the same? You know 2 options you are able to eliminate, but not more than that. This comes when you are not revising, right? This is one of the major issues. Then always add value from previous year questions, because previous year will help you understand the trends, understand what are the high yield topics, right? So again, if you have to say one day for ancient medieval art and culture, you start with IVC, you go through Mauryan Empire, you have Gupta period, you have Jainism, Buddhism, you have Sangam literature, and then you have Vijayanagara, Delhi Sultanate or Mughals. This is all you need to cover, right? So depending on that, that only will be there if you understand previous years properly. It is equally relevant for your prelims as well as mains aspects. So I hope it is clear. And then, as I said, you have to test yourself. It will give you discipline, it will help you revise multiple times, it will give you more content, and again, it will help you actually building this art of clearing prelims, right? Specifically people coming from arts background, they need to practice. There is an art of reaching to the answer that you will understand only if you are doing these parts. And make it a point, my dear students, if you are good in this, 80% chances are you will clear prelims, right? You will clear prelims. And when you are taking mocks, try to add value from them. So suppose 1 pager, important notes that you learn from this particular test, right? Make it a file, make it a diary, make it a document, so that you revise those learnings regularly. Okay? Now coming to current affairs, as I said, newspaper every day, and then every day 30 minutes for maybe your magazine, whatever you are referring. Okay? And finally, never ever neglect CSAT in prelims. Never ever neglect CSAT, because many IITians from people who have qualified CAT, they have failed multiple times. Case in point 2023, I had a student, again, already in services, still could not qualify prelims because of this, right? Many IITians under 50 rank in IIT, they could not. So never ever neglect this part. So this is Panchamrit for your prelims. Now, this is the ideal schedule. I'm not saying this is a perfect thing, but you can start with it. Start with a newspaper daily. After you are selecting your optional, try to devote 2 or 3 hours for our optional. Again, syllabus and previous year questions, right? In optional, 50 to 70% questions are from previous years only, specifically in paper 1 in many subjects, which is not dynamic. So if you are done with previous year, your optional is more or less sorted. At least 50-60% is sorted, right? So daily give 2-3 hours for optional. If you have not decided yet, which I'll urge decide soon, you can add a minor subject. What I mean by minor subject, something like something like internal security, right? Or something like society. If you are in second phase, if you are in first phase, maybe 2 hours for geography, which is say data specific. Or third thing is, at least give 3-4 hours for your GS preparation. I am talking about if you are doing self-study. right? If you are doing classroom program, make sure after class you give 2 hours, for 1 hour for class revision, 1 hour for reading extra from standard books about that particular topic, right? This will vary depending on your classroom. But for self-study, because the session is for self-study students in particular, I'll say you can devote at least 4 to 5 hours for GA, matlab one subject of GS. This is primary subject, polity, history, economy, geography, right? After say 1 week, start analyzing previous year questions, right? So you understand which are the important topics. Then you devote 30 minutes to 50 minutes to any magazine that you want, right? Vajiram has a very fabulous magazine. You can refer that. If it doesn't suit you, it's totally up to you. Then always remember, whatever you learn will fade away if you are not revising it properly. It's like you are running a company. Initially you have all the products, but after a certain point, when you have some products, you need maintenance, right? Otherwise it will be collapsing. The whole system will be collapsing. So you need to have some maintenance services. This is what revision does to you. You maintain whatever you have learned so far, right? Okay, so there is a recital magazine of Vajiram that you can refer, Bhuvnesh. I hope you will find it on the website. I know it will be there, right? So first thing is, you plan your day like this. After planning of your day, I have already told you, plan for a week, and then plan for next 3 months. That's all. Next 3 months or 4 months, I am going to do, suppose in April I'll do polity, in May I'll do economy, in June geography, in July history, something like that, whatever suits you. Okay? So this is an ideal thing. Again, it may vary from students to student. Now coming to the things that you must never forget when you are applying all those things. Just to remind you, basics are very important. Don't neglect previous year question, test and revision, because if you are not doing this, it will not get you a very good rank. Maybe by luck you may succeed, but again, if you want a single digit rank, if you want IAS, you have to inculcate these habits. So these are some of the systems, the principles, the pillars that are very much needed. So this is just to show you about basics. Why you should never neglect basics. These are direct question in prelims from NCERTs, 11th NCERT. Just from 2-3 chapters they have asked every time. So the themes you will understand only when you have previous in mind, right? Also basics are very important. Be it Lakshmikant, you take this whole page of, this is 24 I guess. So this question, I think you can zoom or you can check with 2024 paper itself. So this is about speaker, this is about parliament, bill pending in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, this is of prorogation of house. Everything is there in that parliament chapter. If you have made notes, in the end 4-5 pages notes you should make, so that you revise it regularly. Just a tip, there will be some high yielding topics. Say 15 chapters from Lakshmikant will give you 90% of the result all the time, right? It's like, start with, if you have only 1 hour to revise, start revising parliament. Then fundamental rights, fundamental duties, emergency provisions, president, right, council of ministers, Supreme Court, High Court, things like that. So this will only come when you have analyzed previous years properly, right? Now coming to next thing, as I said to you, always be smart. So being smart is, you analyze the trends, you analyze previous year questions, so that you can reverse engineer your way to success, right? So history repeats itself in the form of themes, in the form of topics. They will ask the same thing in prelims. There will be several questions. Similarly in mains, if you think about internal security, they will be asking about left-wing extremism, one year or the other, cyber security, right, terrorism. So hardly 10-15 themes that you can prepare beforehand, and every time this can fetch you, at least 50 marks can be tackled, and after that you can score at least 30 marks. And this can be very much doable in 7 days, right? So you have to be smart about it. So focus on some subjects which are very important. As I said, for prelims, polity, environment, economy, geography. Similarly for mains, Some subjects like society has very high yield, right? Just 5 topics of society can give you around 100 marks. At least you can attempt those 100 marks. While if you are struggling for history, after reading the whole year, you will get only 8 questions similar to society. So you have to be smart. So I always say, obviously all subjects are equal, but some subjects are more equal than others. So you have to keep that in mind, right? Focus on recurring themes, spot the trend that is shifting, and finally it will help you gauge your progress, where you stand. How to revise? This is a recurring question that many of you ask. So basically, whenever you develop something new, you develop at least half of the time, right? You read something, right? This is what I'm telling you after foundation phase, right? Because in initial things, you will have to remember a lot of things, you have to read a lot of things. So it will be there, specifically from the second phase itself. So 50 time for conceptual clarity of new topics, new things. Then 20 to 30% of the time, you have active learning. Active learning, what I mean? Either you solve test, either you solve practice previous year questions, or you make them understand someone else, right? Active recalling is also needed 10% of the times. Either you teach it to yourself or your friends. This is you have to do so that everything is internalized. Remember, what is basic structure doctrine? Okay, just to check you on the spot, what are the themes that we discuss in basic structure doctrine? Like intro, then just write in the comment box. I want to check your memory. Right? Please, Mayank, Indu, Chandu, Sukanya. In that order, if possible. So it is about actively recalling introduction, evolution, significance of the doctrine, issues with the doctrine, way forward, and then conclusion. Imagine in just 1 hour, if I have told you about this thing about 2 times, and if you are not getting it, how can you remember something that you have read a month back or 3 months back? So what you need to do is revise daily. Then on Sundays, try to revise everything that you have revised for whole week, that you have done for whole week. Then make it a point after 21 days, then 3 months. This is how you revise, so that it sticks to your mind, right? There are so many psychological aspects that you can explore, but this is the basic crux. And finally, this is a frame and technique that I always suggest my students. Simple words. If you can explain a topic in simple words, you have understood the topic. Otherwise, all the fancy words will mean that you are not confident enough, right? So this is about you. Now, most importantly, my dear students, I have talked about more or less everything that you will need in your self-study journey. But most important thing is your mindset, right? Always remember this. I think, therefore I am. It shows that your mind precedes everything. Anything that has happened in the world, there is a theory that it is preceded by mind. First you think, then you deliver. So the Shah Rukh Khan fans will know, अगर किसी चीज़ को पूरी दिल से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात उसे मिलाने में लग जाती है. For English translation, it may be not correctly translated, but if you inspire something, if you want something, the whole universe will conspire to make it happen, right? This is the crux. So first, believe. First, ask, believe, and then receive, right? So first, make sure that you believe in yourself, that yes, I can do it. This is the mindset that I need, right? Then you focus on right priorities. Obviously, for next 2 years, UPSC should be the most important priority. Obviously, there may be some issues here and there, sometimes family emergency. That is okay. That is part of life. But at the same time, the most important thing for next 2 years who are targeting 26 is UPSC. Similarly, focus any day, revision over new content, right? Previous year questions instead of just mocks, because you have to clear UPSC exam, not Vajiram or any other institute's exam. Obviously, they will help, but priority for previous year questions. And eliminate all distractions. This is what I need from you. Then eliminate all the self-doubt. Every day, I am doing better. I'll do more, but I'm on the right track. Take guidance, take feedback. Then always focus on that, yes, whatever I'm doing, it will help me in the exam. So dots will connect. These dots will connect in the end. Right now, I may not be able to understand this. Then I want you to cultivate this winner mindset that yes, I will crack it. Yes, it is already there. I just have to implement it. Right? Then focus every day as a new day, and every day counts. So make sure you are consistent. So first, try not to miss any day. If you have missed, try not to miss at least consecutive days. Right? This is how you improve. So if you have missed a week, never make it happen that you are missing 2 weeks in a row. Right? Come back to your table. Start again. It's okay, but you have to start. Right? And finally, as I said, mental clarity, physical is more important. Mental well-being is more important for yourself, because you are going to be an IAS officer who is representing the nation. Right? IFS will represent in world, you are representing in your own district. And finally, your confidence and calmness will actually reflect in exam hall. So many people who have prepared well, but they are panicked, will not score well in prelims or mains or interview. Right? So keep this in mind that you have to start with your mindset. But again, everything I have told you may work for some of them. Some of you will again struggle, and I know 90% of you will struggle, because maintaining consistency is very problematic, because you do not have accountability. In our boards, 9, 10, 12, we perform well because we have someone looking after us, our brother, our father, mother, someone, right? So accountability is established. Right now, you do not have any accountability. So this is the issue. And that's why this journey prolongs, the gestation period increases, and then burnout happens, right? So this is again an issue. Many of you will learn, even after my warnings, will continue to learn passively without actually implementing, applying, learning, not able to learn from mistakes, repeating the same mistakes again and again, and then expecting different results. It's a blunder, right? So these issues will be there. You're not able to integrate a preparation, a prelims mains interview, revision nahi ho raha. Again, mental fatigue ho rahi hai, burnout ho raha hai. So these issues will be there. I know many of these things will happen. I wish it should not happen to any of you, but if it happens, you don't have to fight it alone, right? So I'll come back to Ramanujan again. You don't have to understand this point. Self-study is not going solo or alone, right? It has to be with right guidance. Obviously, you have to believe yourself, but it has to be right guidance. If you are getting right guidance from your brother who is selected, I have no issues. From a father or any relative who can give you time every day, I have no issues. Just make it a point that you are improving every day, right? But if you are not, always remember, I am there for you, right? I can be your GH Hardy, but I can only be GH Hardy for you if you want, if you need me to be, right? And if you need me, I'm leading this program, Step Up Mentorship Program, with all the features that you will need to crack this exam with self-study, right? So we'll provide you 4 layers of mentorship. At the top, you have IAS, IPS toppers who will be delivering these group sessions to you, right? So that you can ask your doubts. It will be a very personalized mentorship program where mentor will be allocated to you to check on you every week. You can have some message every day, right? So constant accountability and consistency will be ensured. Your study plans will be made by taking into your account what is your journey so far, right? It is not a badge. It is a one mentor allocated to you who will be available to you, right? There will be topper sessions. There will be thematic videos on some crucial aspects, right? Current affairs, smart current affairs module, which is an independent product from Vajiram. You need not worry about current affairs anymore, right? You will be heading this essay module by Piyush sir, renowned faculty. You will be getting some sessions. Prelims camp test series will be there. Mains tests will be there. 10 recorded sessions by program head, including myself. How to actually approach answer writing, right? So everything will be delivered, and more importantly, these workbooks, in fact, 1-page notes will be there, so that you revise in limited time. You do not have issue for content. You will get quality content, And finally, topper level note making in prelims as well as mains. How to concise parliament chapter in 4 pages. I'll teach you that. Team will teach you that, right? So this is about our mentorship program. And if you want to know more about these program, you can scan this QR code or you can call this number. Or you can just fill out the form in the description to have a session, right? So this is about our program, and still if you feel any issue, you can reach out to me. So this is it from my end. Before we conclude, I always say this to my student, always remember this beautiful quote by Winnie the Pooh. Promise me you will always remember this. You are braver than you believe, you are stronger than you seem, and you are smarter than you think. Always remember this aspect. You can do it, and I am with you if you need my help. Okay? So this is it from my side. Now I'll open the floor for some questions from your end. If you have any questions, you can shoot. Again, Suryansh, it is very important for you to understand, coaching will take you around 2 and 2.5 hours for one class. If you are doing 2 classes, maybe 5 hours. So always plan your day that you are at least giving, even with coaching, 7 hours every day, right? So maybe in first newspaper, then your GS subject that you are there, 1 hour of revision for class, then 1 hour for new editions. Then you come on to your optional for 2 hours, and then your current affairs, and then some previous year question will be there. Yes, sir. Yes, Pavan Kumar, this session will be uploaded on YouTube soon. So you can check out YouTube link after tomorrow. It will be uploaded there. Also, my dear students, if you still feel any doubt, you can write in the comment box of that video. I'll try to answer the queries there. Priya, it is a very important thing. As I told you, in college, you have ample time, but you need guidance. And that's why I have various students, working professionals, college students who are in this program who will actually help you. But to make you understand very briefly, just focus on the core aspects first. Cover your optional, cover GS subject every day, 3 to 4 hours, and then you have your current affairs. So even with college, 5 to 6 hours of self-study can be there. If you are targeting 27, it is more than enough. What is the corrupt? Again, Ishika, PSI is a very good optional, lots of rankers, but you have to understand if you have interest in that or not, right? There is no issue with the dearth of material. You have best faculty in Vajiram, you have best quality notes, you have test series, everything. It's a very fantastic optional, but at the same time, it is your interest. If you have background in that, again, it's favorable to you. Muskan, for people attempting in 25 in Vajiram video section, I have specific plan for 25 people. You can go watch that video. Aishwarya, this mentorship program will be there till your mains in 26, till your interview. If you qualify prelims, you will get access for mains. If you qualify mains, you will have hand holding for prelims. Everything will be there. It is a more or less 1.5 year, 18 months program. Grammar skills, Madhu, is important in essay and somewhat in ethics. Otherwise, you have to communicate your ideas, right? You don't need to be a Shashi Tharoor or Shakespeare for that matter, right? You just have to focus, right? My idea has to be communicated to the examiner. Again, as I told you, Mayank, class notes are important. You revise them. But again, if you're part of this step-up program, we will be giving you workbooks, value addition workbooks, so that you revise entire thing from one place, right? Otherwise, you can search internet. It's a bulky process, but it is doable. It's totally up to you, but it is very time consuming. If you need overall one-stop solution, this is for you, right? And again, it is I'll say this is the best investment you will make, because I always believe people will fail, may fail, but systems don't. And I have built this system for you only. Yes, it is very much helpful in getting good marks. Again, we will give you tests after every week. Prelims test will be there, mains test will be there. We'll be analyzing, we'll be sitting with you. Okay, where you are lagging, the mentors will sit with you. Suppose if you have this prelims question, why you made that incorrect? Was it because of silly mistake? Was it because of your revision issues? Was it because of lack of confidence or content issues, right? So everything will be covered. This is a comprehensive program for you. So if you have any other questions, just shoot. Otherwise, in 1 minute, we'll end this discussion. And again, you can ask your queries in the comment box of the video that will be uploaded tomorrow. Yes, Priya, please ask your how to maintain consistency. As I told you, I have given sample for the day, but if you want sample for weeks and whole year, we share our study plan with the students on the very first meeting, right? This is how you will schedule depending on your comfort level, right? And that is why I always say it's very important to have someone looking after you, right? So that you maintain consistency. It is very important. It is the best investment that you can make. Okay, I think this is it for now. If anyone is left with any issues, you can comment in the comment box of this video that will be uploaded tomorrow. You have been a great audience. Thank you for attending this session, taking the time out. I hope you have learned extensively about answer writing and all the preparation that is needed for self-study. I hope to see you soon. All the very best.